I've just finished grading the assignments, and I thought that many of you might appreciate a little bit of general feedback on how the assignments went. Overall, the quality of the assignment submissions was very good. This is encouraging because, after all, once you finish this course, I'm going to be setting you loose on the world with the ability and hopefully the confidence to be able to apply these skills in the real world, where people are going to be investing hundreds of thousands of dollars, perhaps millions of dollars of their own money in investments that may make them wealthy or perhaps send them broke. And so this is quite a responsibility that you're taking on. The good news is that just about all of the reports submitted were really quite reliable and of a fine quality. I would suggest that for those of you who are thinking of ways to improve, look particularly at model precision and also your risk analysis. Generally, the model precision should be fairly evident, and I've made notes on all of the models that weren't precise. But the real variable is how well you look at the various risks, how far you go into investigation of what happens if interest rates change, or if we're using a discount rate which is out of step with the market, or what happens if we have vacancies or rents not going the way we want, or what happens if property growth doesn't behave in the way that we expect. This latter variable is probably the most important when we're dealing with investments that begin negatively geared. And it appears that many of you came nose to nose with the reality of negative gearing through your case studies. And this is a good thing because it's such an important strategy in our investment market today. The other side of what came through in the reports, and one of the things which is a certain reward for me sitting here grading all these reports, is that because my students in this class, your colleagues, are coming from all over Australia, I get to look at what the real local situation is in many, many parts of Australia, and many that often are ignored by the major property commentators. And so each time I run assignments like this, I get to see how the ordinary situation in, if you like, domestic Australia is going in many parts of regional and the urban centres across the country. This year, what I have seen is that almost all of you, with a few exceptions, usually in the less residential parts of major cities, most situations are looking at a property investment situation which is not looking terribly optimistic for either the short or medium term. And in some cases, while there's optimism for, say, infrastructure, hospitals, or other developments starting to turn things around, the longer term is really dependent on major changes, things which aren't in the pipeline at present, or at least not concretely in the pipeline at present. So that's something which I'd like to share with all of you. It's important because the property industry is generally full of very positive hype, where generally we're encouraged to borrow more and spend more and watch the market take off with a kind of euphoria which may not be grounded on reality. However, I think most of you have seen that in your local areas, that's something that is now being approached with considerable caution. I think the exceptions are where you have a commercial long-term client in a semi-specialised building, and they're interesting exceptions. However, overall, if we look at the assignment and the course, I can really confidently say that you all have mastered what is really a lot of difficult content. This course is a challenge because, unfortunately, within the space of one course, we go pretty much from a standing start in finance and property investment theory to the point where we're able to produce what you guys have produced so well, and that is a confident and reliable professional appraisal of the investment worthiness of property investments. And that is really, really impressive. With that background and with the performance of the assignments, I can quite confidently say that, again, just about all of you, and certainly I think without exception from the assignments that have been submitted, you'll find the exam quite straightforward. One last suggestion regarding the exam: the calculation side of it is not going to go past the kind of calculations that you had in your assignment. And so as long as you can do the itty-bitty bits of your DCF assignment using your financial calculators and understand the way that the various parts of the model fit together, and so you can check them using your own understanding of the relationships that operate within your models, you should have absolutely no problem in the mathematical part of the assignment. And as far as the theory part, the essay section goes, already you've demonstrated an overall understanding of the financial profile of Australia, which is, after all, a major part of what's required in the course. That's not to say that the other topics, such as portfolios and so on, are not important to also bone up on, and so you can confidently speak about them in the exam. So all the best for the exam. As I say, I think you can all be quite confident as you go into it.